Hello, everyone. This is the Jeff Cowan coming to you from thejeffcowan.com with my podcast, Success in Professional Sales and Life in General. Thank you for coming back. Boy, this one's really just blowing itself off the charts. We're getting a lot of responses from this podcast, all good, and I'm excited about that. Hey, listen, by the way, if you've not been to thejeffcowan.com, you need to go there because you can see behind me, I've got 4 mock covers for books that I've either got out that are coming out. They're available in e-copy. They will be available in hardback, and you can even get a video program of each one. Really great stuff going on there. It's going to show you how to be the absolute best salesperson you can be, because that's what I do, is show people how they can be the absolute best they can be. So with that, let's just jump into it. You can see the one title back here. It says The Forgotten Rules of Salesmanship, Professional Salesmanship. We're going to talk about one of those rules today, and it's important, and here's what it is. Education is a never-ending process. Now, your machine's not broken. I paused on purpose. Education is a never-ending process. If you want to be the best you can be, you want to be the absolute number one at what you do, not only today, but tomorrow and for the rest of your life, you have to understand that education is a never-ending process. So let's talk about that for a while. You know, it was our third president, Thomas Jefferson, who's one of my favorite ones. So he's a little bit odd, but he was personally, if you read about him, he did some quirky things. But he did more than double the size of the United States of America at the time. He did write the Declaration of Independence, and he did do a lot of other great things for this great nation. That's why he's on the $2 bill, and he has a monument built to him in Washington, D.C. You know, he was devoted to lifelong learning. He was devoted to reading. He was devoted to becoming better every single day that he lived. And he knew that education was a never-ending process. As a matter of fact, when he started what has become the University of Virginia, he never referred to the students as sophomores, freshmen, juniors, seniors, and all that stuff, because it implied that once you were a senior, learning came to an end. And that's not the way that he thought that it was. So he referred to his students, and it's still that way today, as first years, second years, third years, 4 years, and if you go into the bigger programs, 5th years, 6th years, 7th years, it never stops. Education is a never-ending process. So one of the best ways to educate yourself, by the way, is become a reader. I mean, it's the simplest and least expensive thing to do is to read. Now, I got to caution you about this because I am a reader. Never was for a very long time. But by the time I hit about 21 years old, I became a voracious reader. I mean, I couldn't get enough stuff to read. It's still that way today. As a matter of fact, if I was walking my personal office, which is on the side of that wall in that other room over there, there's at least 500 business books there on selling, a business, leadership, motivation, management, and the like. At home, I've got another 1,500 to 2,000 books. I lost count somewhere along the line of books. And then I carry around with me an iPad that has another 300 plus books on it. Now, I know what you're thinking. You're thinking, well, Jeff, once you've read one business or leadership book or management book or something along those lines, haven't you read them all? And you could make a case for that, but variety is the spice of life. And you can also, here's the big bonus, you can read just about anything and learn how to be a better salesperson. For example, read biographies of anybody. You'll learn something. Read military history. Learn how to lead and make decisions. You want to learn how to sell? Read presidential and political history, because that's what politicians are. They're people that sell themselves and the like. I mean, there's all kinds of things you can read. As a matter of fact, one of the best books I've ever read in my life is Green Eggs and Ham. Yeah, Green Eggs and Ham by Dr. Seuss. I mean, what's that book about when you bring it down to the bare thing that it is? It's a book about persistence. And that's one of the key ingredients we'll talk about on another podcast. That's one of the key ingredients to becoming a great salesperson is persistence. And that's what that book's about, man. That guy chases that other guy all around the book, wanting him to eat the green eggs and ham. He says, no. But boy, he will just not give up. And finally, he gets the guy to eat them, and everybody's happy. Now, reading, just in case you're still wondering if it's the smart thing to do, let me give you some statistics from the National Library Association of the United States. Okay, the National Library Association of the United States. They say that if you read one book a month, that'll put you in the top 25% of all intellectuals in the world. One book a month, top 25. Now, reading just 5 books on any given topic makes you a world authority on that subject. So if you read 5 books about anything, you're now a world authority. If you read for 15 minutes a day, based on the average length of a book, they say, you'd be able to complete 20 books a year. And check this out. The top 1% of income earners in the United States of America read 1 book a month at least. Read. It's an easy way to do this. You have to learn. And you know, if you don't like reading, then there's always things like seminars, there's classes you can take, there's colleges you can sign up for, there's online courses today. It's never been easier to educate yourself, you know, and you're never too old. I mean, I read all the time. I mean, I'm an older guy, right? But I understand that education's a never-ending process. I love it when I'm on Facebook or I'm watching the news or reading a news story about somebody that's in their 80s or 90s and they go back to school to get their high school graduation, what do you call that, diploma, or they're going back to take a college class or going to some seminar just because they want to get better, you know? I mean, that's the way you gotta think. I mean, education is a never-ending process. Okay, and let me prove to you what I mean by that. Education is a never-ending process, but we in sales a lot of times get lazy, and we stop doing the very things that make us successful. One of those is learning. So what do I mean? All right, well, you know, when you start a new sales job, the first thing that they're going to show you how to do is they're going to put you into what? Training, education. They're going to educate you on the product that you're going to represent, and then they're going to educate you on how to properly present that product, right? Okay, well, that being the case, there's 3 different types of salespeople that I've discovered over my life in sales. And this first group is the worst group. And this encompasses, based on what I've seen, 80% of all salespeople out there. Now, here's what I mean. Here's what I mean. They get hired. They're taught about the new product, okay? And they're taught how to present the product. And so they do that, and they instantly make more money than they were making at the last job, and they instantly stop doing what made them successful, training. They feel like they never need to be trained again. I mean, you know, some guy's out there, he's making $40,000 a year, he gets this new sales job, he's making $60,000, he increased his income by 50%. Woohoo! I don't have to do anything anymore because I hit the jackpot. No, you're just getting started. And they stop doing what makes them successful in the first place. And the first thing they stop doing is training. Education is a never-ending process. And 80% of the people, what happens is they do that, they become complacent, and they never go any further. The second type of salesperson, I will get to in a second, but first I have to tell you about Lightspeed VT. See, Lightspeed VT can be reached by dialing 702-369-4260. 702-369-4260. And I tell you what, if you've not called them yet, I don't get it. I really don't. Because if you call and tell them the Jeff Cowan told you to call, they're going to give you some big savings on what they offer. And you say, what do they offer? They have the world's best training platform. Business owners, managers, if you've got recorded training out there, whether it's audio or video or both, they'll show you how to set up this platform. They're going to put all your logos on it so it'll look like it's all yours. They're going to put your training on it, and then they're going to divide it up into small sections so your employees can watch it from any device that gets Wi-Fi. And then they're going to show you how to put testing with it. So now when you bring in your new people and you train them and they watch the videos and you ask, did you get that? And they say yes, you never really know if they did. Now they'll watch it, they'll test, and you can tell based on what they passed or didn't pass, what they get or what they didn't get, and based on how many times they watch it before they pass the test, just how well they get it. This is an invaluable tool. But you say, Jeff, I don't have any training. Well, you don't have to have any training. You just call Lightspeed VT because they've got access to literally thousands of training experts from all walks of life. Lightspeed VT, my sponsor, call them. You're going to like them. So, back to these 3 different types of salespeople. So we got the first one who gets hired, learns their product, learns how to present it, and then they instantly stop doing what got, and then they start selling the product and they make more money than they were before, so now they think they've hit the jackpot, and they instantly stop doing what made them successful in the first place, training, education. They become complacent and they never go any further. That's 80%. The second one is the one that gets hired. They learn their product and they learn how to present it, and they start making more, but they quickly see that there's other people who've been doing the job for longer than them that are making more, so they continue their education, and they start to ask questions, they start to mimic, they start to learn, education, start to learn what these veterans, if you will, these veteran salespeople are doing to make the maximum amount of income doing the same thing that they themselves are paid to do. So they mimic them, and within months become one of the top sellers, one of the top income earners, because they didn't stop educating themselves. Instead, they kept educating themselves. That represents 18% of the salespeople, because once they mimic what the veterans do, they then stop doing what made them successful. They stop training because they think, hey, look, if I'm making as much as the top guy here, the top gal here, there can't be any more. They become complacent and they stop. That represents 18% of the people. They're hired, they learn the product, learn how to present it, match what the veterans are doing, go up several levels above the average person, and then they stop. They stop doing the things that gets them successful, which is educate themselves, training, right? But then we have the final group, and that's the top 2%. So what do? What I want you to do, what I've done, what I continue to do, what all true professional salespeople do. And here's what it is. You get the job, You learn the product, train, education. You learn how to present the product, learn, education. And then you're going to start working. And as you start working, you're going to pay attention to the veteran salespeople, the one who's been doing this job for a while, the ones that are making the top dollars, getting the best survey scores, the highest customer retention, and you're going to mimic, you're going to learn from them, education, learn from them how to do it the best, most efficient way. But what's going to be different about you, one of the top 2%, is you're not going to become complacent just because you've matched dollar for dollar, survey for survey the top person. No, you're going to keep doing what made you successful, and there's many things, but the key thing is education. You're going to keep educating yourself, and you're going to look for ways that you learn how to do this. As a veteran taught you how to do, you're going to look for ways to make it better. You're going to go to classes, and you're going to learn how to become a better presenter. You're going to read books and learn how to become a better closer. You're going to read magazine articles from sales magazines that are out there and learn how to handle objections better than anybody else. You're going to continue to read books and go to workshops and seminars, learn how to be the best one at building rapport, and you're never going to stop educating yourself. And one day you will look in your rearview mirror, and those 80% who gave up after they learned the product are going to be way behind you. And the next 18% who learned the product and learned from the veterans and then became complacent, they're going to be way behind you, and you're just going to keep going up that ladder to success, to job security, to promotions, to pay raises, to having the best life that you could ever have as a professional salesperson. Because what I see successful salesperson do all the time is they get successful and they stop doing the very things that made them successful in the first place, and the first thing they typically drop is education and training. It's a never-ending process. So let's talk about some points to ponder to wrap this up this week. Education is never-ending. Did I say that enough? You got to understand that you can educate yourself by reading anything, attending seminars, exploring online training, and by living life. Just look around you by living life. You're learning anything is the first step to learning everything or the next thing. It's a way to learn everything. And you have to understand that to make yourself wealthy or rich, the best way to do that is invest in yourself through lifelong learning. And I see people all the time looking for the next big investment, looking for places to put their money so they can get the biggest return on it. And I can tell you folks right now, the best place to invest is in yourself. The best place to invest is in your education. Get books, go to seminars, go to workshops. So here's the positive affirmation that I would say to myself every day, because when you get my book, The Forgotten Rules of Professional Salesmanship, all these different forgotten rules we have with positive affirmations for you to say to yourself every day so you can change these habits and never forget these forgotten rules that the lazy people forget and then fall backwards. Positive affirmation. You're going to say this to yourself every day. My education is never ending. Okay, let's start that again. My education is never ending. I will educate myself by reading for at least 15 minutes a day, searching out and attending seminars and utilizing online training. I will invest in myself by investing by my time in my lifelong learning. By being a lifelong learner, I will grow richer and wealthier in all aspects of my life. That's today's message. Education is a never-ending process. It's one of the forgotten rules of salesmanship. So many times we get successful in sales and we stop doing the very things that made us successful, and the first thing that everybody seems to drop is the education part of it. But you are not going to do that because you are different, because you want to be the best, you want to be one of the top 2%, and you will be if you do what I recommend you do. And keep coming back every Tuesday at noon Eastern, 9 a.m. Pacific time, and listening to Success in Sales and Life in General by me, The Jeff Cowan, coming to you from thejeffcowan.com. Before I wrap it up, take a look at that picture right there. That is my youngest grandchild, and man, is she beautiful or what? I just love that picture. I mean, that girl has stole my heart. If you're listening out there, get that Ford Mustang convertible GT ready for 16 years from now, because I'm buying her one. I don't know if you folks watching this have ever had the opportunity to see the absolute best looking grandkids on the planet. Well, if you haven't, you did now, because there's one right there, and she's mine. Hey, this is Jeff Cowan. You make it a great day, you make it a great week, and you make it a great month, because I will. And between now and next Tuesday, I'll see you soon. Bye.